This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1 through 2. And it reads, Woe, woe meaning destruction, to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees, to deprive the poor of their rights, and withhold justice from the oppressed of my people, making widows their prey, and robbing the fatherless. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. You see, what you so-called blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, and also you speckled bird Israelites who look like the heathens, we are the Lord's people. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. But what is also critical that you know who the devil is that the Bible speaks of, all right? And the devil is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites. Now the scriptures just told us in the book of Isaiah, woe to those who decree unrighteous decrees. Now, Friday, this article is from May 9th, all right? An unrighteous decree is getting ready to be put into action because they don't make these sort of statements without them coming into fruition. And the Lord is putting the Spirit on them to do these things, to also prove to you who the devil that the Bible speaks of is. Now I'm going to read a portion of this article, and I have a video to tie into this particular lesson. And I hope through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, this lesson is edifying. It tells us this. Trump administration mulling, and to mull over something means to think deeply about. Trump administration mulling in to habeas corpus, legal right to challenge one's detention. Presidential advisor Stephen Miller announces potential move, which U.S. has made only 4 times in history. And I'll leave a link in the description so you can read more into that article in your own time. And I want you to couple that information with what Trump has done within the past week too as well, all right? Trump has proposed to reopen Alcatraz as America Guantanamo. Now you have to consider, why is all of this being done? Well, it's being done, number one, to fulfill prophecy, because as Yahweh Shai stated through the prophet John, the devil is going to throw some of you into prison, all right? But this is being done not only to throw some of us into prison, but to expedite the imprisonment of the Israelites. Now, let me come out of this here, okay? Now, I'm going to play a portion of this story here. Matter of fact, it's only 2 minutes, so I'll play all of it. In case you're unawares of what habeas corpus is, listen closely, and per usual, I'll chime in momentarily with the scriptures.
President Trump's immigration crackdown is intensifying. The White House says it's considering suspending habeas corpus, the constitutional right allowing people to challenge their detention in court. What that could mean, and it comes one day after the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, was arrested during a protest at an ICE detention facility. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Tonight, the Trump administration saying it's weighing the dramatic and unprecedented step of suspending habeas corpus, the long-standing right of an individual to challenge their detention in court, to hasten sweeping deportations of undocumented immigrants.
It's an option we're actively looking at.
The Constitution states habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. It's only happened 4 times in American history. But the White House claiming the United States is facing a national security threat from undocumented immigrants, and now considering the extraordinary move after a series of federal judges halted the deportations of some migrants, saying they should be given the chance to legally challenge their removals. President Trump posting this week, "Our court system is not letting me do the job I was elected to do." Meantime, a tense scene at a federal immigration detention center in New Jersey. The mayor of Newark and Democratic candidate for governor Ras Baraka arrested and detained for several hours, accused of trespassing after he tried to tour the facility with 3 Democratic members of Congress.
If I was on their property, I was invited there. Somebody allowed me to go in. I didn't climb a fence. I didn't kick the door down.
The U.S. attorney for New Jersey and President Trump's former lawyer, Alina Habba, saying the mayor was trespassing and ignored multiple warnings from federal agents to remove himself. And outside Boston, Tufts University doctoral student Ramesa Ozturk seen apprehended by plainclothes ICE officers a year after she co-wrote a pro-Palestinian op-ed in the student paper, now released on bail. Released from a Louisiana facility this weekend after being detained since March.
Thank you so much for all the support on law. I am a little bit tired, so I will take some rest.
The administration accusing the Turkish national of being involved in groups that may undermine U.S. foreign policy. Back to habeas corpus, any suspension of that fundamental constitutional right would almost certainly be challenged in court. Whit.
You see, now if you were paying attention to that report, that one Jake who was a mayor, he was arrested, and that other woman who wrote a paper, she was arrested and detained as well by plainclothes officers. All right. Again, this is going back to that devil coming down with great wrath. All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. It reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by law?" You see, this is all being framed. This is mischief. All right. Remember that this is the serpent that was in the garden. All right. Remember, he was considered one of the most craftiest beasts of the field. Okay. Let me come out of this here. Let me get the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2, and it reads, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice." Are the people rejoicing now? Absolutely not. Continuing on, it tells us this, "But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." And the people are warning. That's what, and you should ask yourself a question then, who are the wicked that's ruling over the earth now? And I'm sure many of you brothers already know where I'm going. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4, and it tells us this, whereas what Edom said, you see, Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites, the modern day so-called white man, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will what? Return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts. Now, the Lord in all caps is Yahweh. Right? Continuing on, it tells us this, "They shall rebuild, but I will throw down. They shall call them," what? "The border of wickedness." You see, that's who's ruling the earth now. All right? That's who the wicked is. Continuing on. And this is what makes me marvel about these quote unquote woke Israelites who's fighting so hard for Esau, Edom, the modern day so-called white man. Even the scriptures tell us, the Lord told us through the prophet Malachi, these are the people whom against what? The people against whom the Lord has indignation with forever. As I like to mention on this channel, these people, this race of people are the bad guys of the movie. All right? That's their part. That's their role that they're playing. And then guess what? The Lord has indignation with them forever. Let me come out of this here. Let's go to the book of Job, because these same people are ruling over the world now. Job chapter 9, verse 24. This is how we know, line upon line, precept upon precept, the earth is giving into the hands of the wicked. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4 just told us who the wicked are. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Then who is he then? If it's not Esau, Edom, the Edomites, then who is the wicked? Who covered over the face of Yahweh Shai? Who told you that his name was Jesus Christ? Who told you that he looked like a damn hippie with long, stringy white hair and that he was leprous? Who told you these things? Let me come out of this here, right? Which are all lies, by the way. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. I want to go back to those laws again. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, and it tells us this, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High." And the saints are worn out. We're tired. We're ready to get the hell out of this captivity. And who are the saints? Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. Also Psalms chapter 50, verse 5. The saints are the children of Israel. But right now, the Lord is only dealing with the elect of the house of Israel. All right? Continuing on, "And he shall wear out the saints." We already know who the he is. We already know who the saints are. "And they shall think," here's the point, "they shall think to change laws." What? They shall, pardon me, just a little excited in the spirit, and think to change times and laws. That's the point. Continuing on, "And they shall be given into his hand for a time and a times and a dividing of times." And that's going into the 350 years, which is another lesson for another day. But I just wanted to make mention of it. Let me come out of this here, right? Let me come out of this here. Got a few more precepts, and that'll be the lesson. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1 through 2, it tells us this, "Woe," meaning destruction, "to those who devise iniquity." And that's what we're witnessing now. Reopening up of Alcatraz, pausing Habeas Corpus. That's iniquity, man. Woe to those who devise iniquity and work evil on their beds. They plan these things out, okay? At morning light, they practice it. Meaning what? They put it into law. They put it into practice. They put it into motion because it is in their power because it is in the power of their hands. They covet fields and take them by violence, also houses and seize them. So they oppress a man and his house, and a man and his inheritance. And no one's more oppressed than you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, aka the children of Israel. All right? Remember, we are at the bottom of this society. Let me come from here. Let me go to the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 8, and it tells us this. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And that's what you just saw in that news report there. Them being corrupt. Them speaking wickedly concerning oppression. Them speaking lofty. And again, this goes back to that devil coming down with great wrath. And as a matter of fact, we'll finish here in Revelation, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse. Therefore, let me get that in the KJV. Let me scroll down a bit. Bear with me, Baba Kusha. And it reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, who is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites, the modern-day so-called white man, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that his time is short. You see that? And I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, this quick video has been edifying. Shalom.